Hey guys, what's happening, beekeepers? Playing out here with my new toy. Wow, I love it, guys. I love it. Accurate cuts. Accurate cuts. I want 10 inches. Boom, boom, boom. Knock this out. So sweet. And here's your sweet baby girl right here. Look at this thing, guys. Yep, the Craig rail saw. This thing is cool. I love it, guys. What's beautiful too, you can work off, I got this little 99 Ranger and this tailgate, you know, it's a lower truck, but you could do it on a 150 or whatever. And I've cut half of a sheet, so I got 4. I'll get 4. I'll have enough for 8 hives with 1 sheet of my beefies. There's going to be, we're going to tack them onto that here in a minute, and I'm going to go out to my chop saw next and chop these. Actually, I'm set up here already. I'm going to drag the chop saw up here and chop these into 21 and 5/16. And this thing is really slick. This bag, it collects everything. Look at that. It's just about full. It's just about full with those me cutting that half sheet. But I love it. There's not, you don't have all this sawdust blowing up in your face. Okay, guys, just got my 2 marks here. I'm gonna put more of the rail past my plywood. So my plunge cut is out here before I go down, and just bring it up to where I'm just eyeballing this, because your saw blade's going to be laying right along that plastic right there. So you're going to allow for the kerf. I've done enough saw cutting to know about how much kerf we got. So that's that right there. I've got it set there. You can see my line there, my point, and my point. Grab your saw. It drops right in. Fire it up. Fire it up. Dead on the money, guys. Dead on the money. So that's that. You're going to get half this sheet of plywood. You're going to fill that bag completely up. I'm telling you. So that's that. I got to cut these up, get my chop saw, chop them up, and assemble the boxes. I already got my air compressor built up. She's ready to go. I'm going to use my brad nailer as a clamp. I'll do my assembly right here. Made a bunch more strips, guys. I got to set that up too, and cook those babies up in my pot. If you go this route, use a ceramic pot and put it on a turkey cooker, because you won't get up to your temperature. With that turkey cooker, you can get up quick on it. So anyway, we'll bang out some of these here in a minute. Okay, guys, this is my little chopping device here. The only problem with this is not a slider. This is just a chop. Right. So I set my I just mounted a cheap chop saw. You can get these pretty cheap on Harbor Freight and all, if you want to go this route. When this ever burns up, and I thought it'd burn up 5 years ago, as much timber as I put through it, but it's still hanging in there. So I mounted it to a little piece of plywood with my little stop on it. Just one carriage bolt coming through here, and I keep the wrench right there. And I just cut a slot in it, washer. So I got some other holes here where I can run it back and forth, because if I want to cut 10 inches, I come up and put this up here where I can chop them. But this won't even chop a 2 by 8. I've got to flip it and roll it, but it's no big deal. I chewed them up there. I got two roller stands, so I can run out my material out here and chop these up. It works fast. Next one I get will be a slider. Okay. So all I do is quickly throw these on here. This is what I whacked out with the rail saw, 10-inch pieces. That thing's pretty slick. It's a little learning curve with it, but yeah. And all I do is just take and put this up here, scratch a line, and I set it in my vise here real quick, and I drill some pilot holes here, 1/8 inch. You could eyeball this if you wanted to and not do the line, but I just find it easier to. And I come off the bottom, because keep in mind you've got your 3/4 in here. So yeah, like I say, I just set this board up here and quickly make a mark here. Just a quick reference line is all. Nothing, no rocket science here, guys. Alrighty, so we're going to take a couple of our ends here. I put the ends to me, the top to me, like so, and then I just quickly determine which end I want at the top. This has got a little bit of an opening here in the deal, so I'm going to put it at the bottom of the hive, and I just adjust these kind of quickly, eyeball it here like so. Then I take it off, and I run a bead of glue here. Keep a bucket of water here on standby with a terry towel in it. Then I just set this on here like so. Line it up. Line it up nice and neat at the top. With this nice little tool here, guys, you don't need clamps and all that. Works out nice. Makes for a nice, easy installation. I don't think you're going to find a box out there on the market that's any easier than this to build. And you're talking super strong boxes here, guys. These are super strong boxes. If you've got any deviation in the bottom, we'll deal with that later if you do happen to have any. See, like this deviation. Oops, what happened here? Well, what happened here was this is the end of the board. So you're going to have, what you're going to have is a little entry. And what I may do on these, I only got 2 out of 8 boxes that ended up, you know, with this slot here. So I just put 1 on another box. Actually, it's that one right down there I just built. Yeah, if you've got much of a deviation, say you screw up on your rail saw or whatever, and you got a little bit. This has got a little bit here on this one, not much. I may take a planer and run down through there real quick, or a big old body grinder with a big old abrasive bit on it. I could shoot down through there and knock that thing off flush. But the 2 hives that came like this, with this gap in it, I may just put a solid bottom on this thing and make this a permanent, you know, bottom one, and then I'll bore my hole here for ventilation. I want that ventilation in the bottom of these hives. So now what we can do, I've got some 2-inch deck screws here, and change bits right quick. Yeah, guys, the 8th hole's in there just makes it so much easier. You don't have to fight it, you know. Drill the pilot hole so you don't have to fight it. All right, guys, before you get a ton of these put together, always test drive them. Don't just take it for granted everything's hunky-dory. We don't want any bad surprises, okay? When you do an 2 by 8, when you do a 2 by 8, this is what you're going to end up with, okay? You're going to end up with 7 1/4. But if you'll notice here, that's your slop. So you got enough slop to come out. I would like to have 7 3/8, but I don't. But this will be fine. You got plenty of room here to get your beetle trap in. It's a beautiful thing. All right, now what we got to do is throw a handle on. On a 4 by 8 sheet, and once you cut these two, you're going to get 2 21 5/16. Here's the other one over here, right? What you're going to get left with is this piece right here. those make handles. So what I do is take that piece there, it's 10 inches wide, right, this long. So I flip it on my chop saw, chop, chop, chop. That gives me all of those handles. So to do a handle, no biggie. I get run it up here flush to the lid. Flush to the lid, draw a line, right? Bondtite 3, brad nailer, no clamping action, guys. No clamping action whatsoever. I don't pilot these because I can grab, you know, the top and hold on to it. Just kind of eyeball it for back, side to side action. Nail it. Once you start using that little brad nailer, that's what I use to put frames together with. Yeah, and you just buy them in bulk like this from Lowe's. They're 18 gauge. You can get these same ones at Harbor Freight also. Quit playing Butterfinger, Steve. It would go faster. It would go faster for you if you had the time. Go ahead and pilot those things, guys. Keep that wet rag around here so you can wipe the insides, all these seams. Stack them up. Stack them up, let them dry. Next day, flip them over. If you see any craziness on the bottom, take a planer, body grinder, whatever, knock them flush. Dip these. Tomorrow I can dip these in tall earth. I'll let them sit for 24 hours. I got that 5-gallon can there. Quite a bit in that. I've got another couple gallons dry pack. I can mix it up. I put it in a half 55-gallon pickle barrel cut off. I just dump that in there. Stir it with a stick. And dip these boxes, let them sit for 24, and then come out and paint it with whatever you want. I'm going to be putting that deck stain on it. Alright guys, that's it with my new toy. Yeah. That thing works slick, guys. It's got that plunge saw and that rail system. That rail system right there, can't beat it. That thing there, guys, is gonna, a lot of people aren't gonna buy table saws anymore with that thing. They're gonna be using that instead of a table saw to cut these sheets. And when you're wrestling these big sheets, have a Lowe's cut them in half, or Home Depot cut them in half for you, and then cut these sides out. Cut these sides out with the grain. You can see the grain running that way on them boxes. Alright guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Get out there and start making them boxes now. Summer's here, and bugs are flying, and we got to keep making lots of bugs this summer, all summer long. And Martin just ordered 20 cells out of Bob Benny's stock. There's a guy over here, Indian something over here, just to Brooksville, just to my east. He's raising all the queens for Bob Benny. Bob Benny sends him his breeder stock, and that guy raises them for him. And Martin's getting 20 of them. He's going to give, I think he said he's going to give 4 of them to me. But it's some of Bob Benny's best stock. So I'm going to get a little piece of Bob Benny's action here. So that'll be interesting to see what he's got. He is playing with Caucasian too. I don't know if there's a mix of that in with this stock here or not. But anyway, we'll find out and see how it goes, and I'll keep you updated. See ya. Be happy. Bye-bye. Okay guys, running me another batch here. What do we got here? A little over 100. What is my... This thing's running pretty accurate, guys. That lick was 106. What I had on the first round was 1,500 grams of each. Get a little gram scale. Get you a gram scale. They're not expensive. Get you a couple little buckets like this here at Lowe's. So you can set that on. That's the right size for your gram scale. And you can use it. Put your spoon in it. I got a pile of strips ready. We're going to ladle this out and dump it in here. Doesn't take long to build these. Yeah, I got 106 on it right now. This is the way to go. I've got a fan behind me. I'm right here by the garage opening. I've got a fan behind me blowing this stuff away from me outside. Don't breathe this stuff. Don't breathe it, guys. She's starting to get clear. It didn't take any time, and I fooled around. This has only been set up here 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And I had about that much material left from the last round. You'll see what I'm going to do here in a minute. Very simple. I'm only going to leave these soaking for half an hour. That's God's plenty of time. We're going to get this stuff to 160, and that's going to be plenty hot enough. The glycerin and the oxalic acid to shoot into that product. Let's see, what do we got now here? We're at 110. 110 on the candy thermometer. 113 on this laser. So I would say that's so close it ain't funny. So yeah, I'll get this up to speed. It won't take that long. If you're going to do this, you find flea market or something, one of these, garage sale, one of these. This went inside of one of the roasting pots. And I tried it with electric, and it would only get up to 120. And I fooled around for an hour and a half. I said, no. Fire up the turkey cooker. And I don't have the flame really going crazy. I can adjust it here with this. Wear rubber gloves, by the way, when you're dealing with this stuff. You should have a respirator on, but I'm behind it and this stuff is blowing away from me. So let me get it up to speed. Shouldn't take much longer, and we'll pour it over our stuff. I've got this many more. I did 10 hives out there the other day, and I only used one of these bundles to do it. So yeah, it's pretty efficient. I gave Martin some. He's going to experiment too with them, give me a field report on it, see what he thinks about them. All right, get back with you. All right, guys. I heard a couple of cracks, pops on this thing, and I saw some steam coming off. I've got a hunch I put a crack in this pot. I don't know till I get it done, but it hit 160, but it made a couple of snaps and pops right about 150, so I kept it going a little further. I stepped back thinking, my God, is this pot going to blow up on me or what? Just cover these things up, get this stuff out of here before this pot does break. Started steaming. I saw some vapor coming off, and I said, man, this thing cracked. So it's a possibility. This may have to go in the dumpster. I don't know, this pot. I'll have to just buy me a stainless steel pot at Walmart or something for this operation if this is the case. But I think I do have a crack in this pot. But I shouldn't have to do this for a while because I should have plenty of these strips to hold me over. Looks like I'm going to have just about the right amount to cover these strips here. Alright, I'm going to get the rest of this material out of here and into this thing. Then I think what I need to do is wash this pot out and look it over for any fine cracks in it. I can't imagine this pot cracking, but pretty hot flame underneath there, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll check next Friday those hives I put these in and see how they're doing. I put them in some young nooks too, some brand new queens, virgies that have mated, and they're back. Now with vapor, in the past they have bald queens on me with shooting vapor, so I thought maybe this would be a more gentle release. The big hives, they don't seem to care. You can blast them with the oxalic acid, but in the past I've had issues with young hives and young bird, new queens. I've had issues with them balling the queens. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the vapor screws up the pheromone or what, I don't know. Yeah, this is going to be fine. This is going to mix up good. These strips are quite easy to put in too, by the way. They peel out nice. Make sure you wear rubber gloves when you're working the bees. I like to work barehanded, but when you start fooling with these strips here, you're going to have to put on some of these gloves, rubber gloves. Harbor Freight was out of these for the longest time because of this stupid pandemic, but they got some in now, so I'm going to leave this in here. I'm going to leave that in there for a while, and then I'm going to put my screen, my chicken wire, that chicken wire right there on top, and set all these on top and let it drain down through, and then dump the rest of that liquid in there, and that'll be my storage pot. I have a lid for it. Miss Daisy was nice and gave me a lid. She says, you owe me big time. I said, no problem, we'll fix you up. You got to keep Miss Daisy happy, because if Miss Daisy's not happy, no one's happy, okay? Hey guys, I'll catch you on the next one, and be happy, and do me a favor, guys, keep your tit out of the ringer, okay? You know why? Because it hurts like hell, okay? I'll see you later. Bye-bye.